Today I'm going to talk about the significance of the cultural exchange between East Asia and the world. Firstly, I'm going to give you an overview or the briefly introduction about the original spread of the Korean wave. The South Korean culture economy is popularly known across the world for exporting pop culture, entertainment, music, TV dramas, and movies to other countries, such as China, Japan, and England, and other countries over the world. The practice of the South Korean culture exporting pop culture, movies, and other things across the world has been termed as the Korean wave, and it is also commonly known as the Hallyu. South Korea is well known for its dedication to become the world's leading exporter of the pop culture. The Korean wave is argued to have the first spread to Japan and then to China. Hallyu has then spread to other countries in the Southeast Asia, then to other countries across the world. The origin of the Korean wave is attributed to a couple of movies and TV soaps that were released between 1972 to 2004, including Sorry, Autumn in My Heart, and My Sassy Girls. Sorry was centered on the South and North Korea. Spice was released in 1999. And was awarded the 24th Japan Film Academy Award for the Best Foreign Language Films in 2001. Autumn in My Heart was released in 2000 and then re-released in Peru in 2007. My Sassy Girls was released in 2001 and re-released in Hong Kong in 2003 and released in France in 2005. These movies were not only popular in Korea but also in other East Asia countries such as Japan, China, Vietnam, and other Asian countries becomes interested in watching these movies that critics more about Korean cultures. The spread of the Korean culture through the movie have been significant to Korea and the world at large. This movie brought Korean soft power to the world and led an increasing number of people to perceive the Korean culture all around the world. Movies and K-pop have improved the Korean image and the image of East Asia as well. The Korean culture and that of the East Asia associated with the popular aspects such as taco udon. Before the emergence of the Korean wave, various regions across the world were not aware of the taco udon. However, with the release of various movies such as Fire in the Wind that focus on the Korean and East Asian culture, people across the world have become aware of various cultural aspects such as taco udon and other things that are similar with the taco udon, such as Kung Fu. This movie described the life of the Korean taco udon founder, Tae in the area when the Japanese ruled North Korea. The frail young Tae learned fighting with his servant Fan Shu to strengthen his body. After the Korean independence movement, Tae was determined to become an airplane pilot and study in Japan. But the aviation school was completely different from what he had imagined. North Koreans were humiliated in Japanese schools. During the process of being beaten and threatened by the instructor with knife, Tae recalled the fighting that Fan Shu taught himself Japanese, Korean, and Judo. He started to create a new way of fighting taco udon. This movie was released in Korea in 2004 and re-released in France and Germany in 2005, which bring this kind of cultural aspect to the world. The mentioned cultural aspect have over the years been integrated into various movies in the Western countries such as Caesar, which incorporate a lot of martial arts element, and even some people started learning taco udon, and this has improved the image of the Korean culture. Besides, the Korean culture through K-pop has had a significant impact on the global fashion industry. As such, there has been a raise in a number of famous Korean people, included in the social fiber fashion. The song contributed to huge influence for helping spread of the culture of K-pop. Since after this work was published, it spread quickly throughout the internet and soon become a popular culture all over the world. the song as the Gangnam Style and caused a lot of secondary creation. It is worthwhile to mention that the song was released in July 2012, and it was the first time that a song entered into the nationally recognized music chart in Korea and topped the list. In December 2012, this kind of song became the first video in the internet history with more than 1 billion views. In September 2012, the music video also broke the world record and become the most liked in the YouTube history. The simple and bright houseback dance step in the MV had made the netizen all over the world crazy, triggering a crazy from the celebrity to ordinary people to imitate. In the United States, Robin Williams are learning to dance in the song, and Tom Cruise specifically recommended this song on his homepage. Asian Miracle combinations and other famous bands have all imitated the dance step for Gangnam Style, which caused a group effect. Personally speaking, it was a successful cultural exchange since many people around the world were starting imitating the dance in the movie. After that, I'm going to talk about the celebrity help to spread the K-pop. Talking about celebrity that has improved the image of the K-pop culture is the BTS. BTS is one of the influential celebrities across the world, and through the way they perform, the music style they produce. When we mention the Korean wave that opens the American music industry and the K-pop to the world, we have to mention the BTS. Although some people will feel a little rusty about the group formed in 2013, it is undeniable that these 7 people have taken Korean pop music to the new level again. Today, they have become the most influential mass group in Asia. In 2018 is undoubtedly another year for BTS to reach its peak. They became the first Korean group to be nominated for the Grammy Award, and also won the Billboard album chart leader for the first time as a non-English music group. The BTS not only achieved great success in the United States, but also gained a lot of fans in London, Paris, and Berlin. It is said that it lasted less than 10 minutes. Their tickets for the European concert were sold out. Faced with the unprecedented enthusiasm caused by BTS in Europe, the BBC even called them the Beatles of the 21st century. Their popularity in Europe today is comparable to the popularity of the Beatles in 1960s. This kind of phenomenon activities have already indicated that people all around the world is already perceived and appreciated Korean waves, and BTS have broken through the circle of Korean popular culture and become the world-class group. Additionally, various cultural products such as music by EXO and other bands that come from Japan have also enhanced the Korean culture. Next, I'm gonna talk about they treated the tourism as a way to spread the Korean culture. Korean movies and K-pop has also helped to increase tourism in Korea and East Asia. Through the movie and songs, people have been able to learn the Korean culture and that of the East Asia. Korean movie depicts certain cultural aspects in daily life, such as bowing down when greeting one another. Another cultural aspect that Koreans have depicted in their movie is standing at least 1 meter apart when conversing with each other. Those aspects are also common amongst other East Asian countries, including China and Japan. Many people across the world have found such cultural aspect interesting, and they have desired to go and visit countries in East Asia to learn more about their culture. Not only does their cultural aspect attract people from all over the world, but their nature has also attracted many to the region. In 2015, Korea has attracted 13.2 million tourists in the year. Korea earned $15.2 billion from the tourism. With tourism being one of the major sources of the revenue, Korea has invested heavily in movies and K-pop production. Through the release of movies and K-pop, Korea and other countries in East Asia, such as China, aim to inform the global society for more specific detail of their culture that people may not already know about. The objective of that measure is to increase the number of tourists visiting the region who might be interested in learning more about the region's various cultural aspects. The most important thing is the entertainment industry in Korea. The entertainment industry in Korea also helped to spread Korean soft power. There is nothing that cannot be ignored when we mention the entertainment in Korea is that many Korean entertainment companies not only cultivated a lot of superstars, but also issue excellent TV shows. For example, Korean reality TV shows Grandfather of the Flowers recently sold copyrights to NBC TV in the United States and became South Korea's first entertainment program exported to the United States. The title of the American version of the Grandfather of Flowers has been set to Better Man Than Never, and it is determined Hollywood veteran stars will be invited to appear. The basic form of the Better Later Than Never is the same as that of the Grandfather of the Flowers. It is still a few old grandpas and young men who is the porter to travel to foreign countries. Not only the American TV company, a lot of Chinese entertainment companies are also starting to buy the copyright of the Korean TV show, such as Go Fighting and Produce 101. I think the Korean entertainment programs have recently become the new Hallyu brand, and the original planning in the high degree of the completion have been highly evaluated overseas. In the future, Korean will strive to strengthen content competitiveness, create more added value, and form industrializations. Finally, I'm gonna talk about the conclusion. Personally, the emergence of the Korean wave have been significant to Korea, East Asia, and world at large. I think Korean wave spread to Korean culture to the world due to the globalization. A large number of people are using YouTube, internet, TV shows to recognize the Korean wave. However, this kind of recognition are related with initial propagation. Many people expose themselves to Korean wave by watching the Korean movies and soap operas. And the Korean use their cultural aspect of East Asia, such as Tang Udon, to help improve the Korean image, and this cultural aspect have been learned throughout the world by watching Korean movies. Additionally, Korean use their famous celebrity to emphasize the Korean image in people's mind and make a huge progress for entering American musical industry. Finally, Korean use their entertainment industry to make people follow and appreciate their culture, and even make many international companies to buy the copyright of the Korean TV shows. Therefore, I believe that Korean culture influenced many people across the world, especially the youth. So that is all the things I'm going to talk about.